Now here are some advanced techniques you can use the swing band for to help you learn to shape your shots. I'm going to show you how to curve the ball from right to left and left to right. You can use those shots if you're trying to fix your ball flight mistake, or if you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to play a shot, maybe out of the trees or into a certain spot on the green. If the pin's on the right or the left, you want to hit a fade or a draw in there. Always these shots are going to come in handy. And as you get better at golf, these are the shots that you have to learn. And then we're going to show you how to control the trajectory of your shots, learn how to hit the ball a little higher or a little lower. Obviously, windy days, keep that ball down a little bit. Or if you're hitting into a tight pin position, you got to get the ball up real high and stop it quickly. I'm going to show you how to work the ball with a little higher trajectory also. But let's start off first with learning how to fade the golf ball. Colby's going to demonstrate here. I mean, when you're fading the ball, there's a few adjustments that you're going to make, and really the first thing is that you adjust your ball position just a little bit. It's just the ball's going to be like about just one ball forward in your stance for just a basic fade, if you will. Normally we're gonna line up with a square position here. If I'm looking from behind here, and when you fade the ball, you're gonna open up just a little bit. Obviously, the more you're going to fade it, the more you're going to open up, but you open up at least a little bit. This shows you the angle of the plane of your swing also. So when Colby's swinging, he's going to try to direct his swing in the angle that he's now lined up. So the club's going to go a little bit more outside, if you will, but really just in the same relationship to his plane, because he's shifted himself a little bit to the left of his target line. So it's not really going outside because he aimed differently, but he's swinging the club so that it angles a little more to the left of the target, if you will. So he takes it back that way, and at the top of the swing, you're going to notice that his club is pointed a little bit more to the left. Now what this does is it allows him to get the golf club to come down in front of him, so now he can angle the plane a little bit off to the left here, and that's going to keep the club face open. Now, when you're hitting this shot, Colby, you're trying to kind of think through in your mind when you're taking to practice swing to rehearse this shot. You're looking at the swing band. You're trying to feel the correct impact position, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. And you can sure sense that just a little bit more black there on top is going to assure me of a fade.
So you go back, angle the plane to left, swing the club down and to the left as you come through, holding that face open. So when you mean, the black, you're talking about the swing band, kind of keeping that black face a little more on top, and that's going to hold that club face open just a little bit as you come through. One of the emphasis that you want to make whenever you're playing a fade is you want to make sure that you turn your body through the shot. You want to have a lot of emphasis on finishing all the way through. So the main emphasis on this shot is angle the plane a little more to the left, point the club a little more to the left at the top, and turn the body through. Turn the body through so that the club face has a chance to stay, square as you come through. You don't want that club face closing over. If your body stops, you're going to get this. You angle the plane to the left, hold that face open through the shot. Don't let it cross over. You'll feel black a little more on top here. That's going to leave the club face more open, and you're going to get that shot fading from left to right. Work it into those left pins, work it out of the trees. Remember, when you're going to play a fade, play it with a little bit straighter club face. Reason being, when you fade the ball, your club face is coming in open. If you have too lofted of a club, you're going to hit more underneath the ball. You're going to put a lot of backspin, and backspin counteracts the side spin. So when you're fading a ball, you're going to hit it shorter because the face is a little open. And if you want to hit a big fade, you need a straighter face club. It's hard to hit a much of a fade with an 8-iron or a 9-iron or a wedge. You need to have a little bit straighter face club to play that fade shot. Now, if we're going to hit a draw, it's really just the opposite. You set yourself up. You kind of figure out you got a neutral position where you start, move the ball position, really just like one ball position back in your stance. So it's back just a little bit. Angle your plane just a little more to the right. And what that does is it gives you more arc to your swing coming through here, makes your release happen a little bit earlier, and you're going to close the club face. When he's focusing in, he's focused in on that white being on top, right?
Absolutely, you sure can sense it too. Just even swinging without the ball, even at home at night, you can definitely just practice all these shaping shots like that where you can sense white on top. And you can see it too in slow motion. It's just a great reference point there for sure.
That's a good point. I mean, taking practice swings when you're at home, just nice and slow and just kind of working, you know, in front of a mirror, or just just taking a club and swinging in your backyard. I mean, you can't practice golf enough, and you don't always have to be hitting balls. The swing band will give you something you can kind of key on, and you're going to find that when you go out to the driving range or the golf course, you're going to be able to hit some of these shots. So when you play the draw, ball's back just a little bit, plane's angled more to the right. So when you take the club back, it's a little bit more inside relative to the target line. The club at the top is going to be pointed just a little bit more to the right, if you will. It's going to be a little more across the line. Let's show them again the top of the swing. Okay, so the club's going to be just a little more here when you draw the ball, as opposed to over here when you fade the ball. So it's going to be a little bit more across. That's going to allow Kobe to hit more from the inside here. Now, one thing you see, when you're playing a draw, it's kind of opposite of the fade, obviously. His lower body is not quite as active coming through. He's more active with his hands, and he's trying to feel the release a little more back behind the ball, even seeing this white just a little earlier to make sure it hooks. So the body slows up a little bit, the hands speed up a little bit, that closes the club face, and now he's going to get a shot that's drawn more from right to left, and that's obviously the shape of the shot that you're going to try to get. You know, once again, coming out of trouble or playing the ball into a left pin position on a green. If you're a really good player, that's a shot that you're going to want to have, drawing the ball into that left pin. You do it by just adjusting your plane a little bit, adjusting the path of your swing, and your release. Your release point is more back when you're going to draw it. It's more forward when you're going to fade it. Okay. Now the next shot is learning how to control the trajectory a little bit, and this is kind of an advanced use that Kobe has for the swing band. And what he's going to do is explain what you're doing here.
Okay, so the way to hit a lower shot is that what you want to do is put just around the left wrist here, and you want to just loop it over one time. So I loop it over just in this fashion, and then I put it over the very top of the grip here.
So it's on your left wrist.
On the left wrist there.
All you're doing is just making the swing band just a little bit smaller, if you will. So if somebody had really big, forearms and wrists, they wouldn't necessarily need to do this. But you just it gives you just a little more tension, right?
You can really feel the tension there, and that's key to being able to sense what you're trying to do. So then if you need another couple wraps, you just loop it around there and make it good and tight. Just you'll be able to tell if it's too tight, and it's too tight. If it feels too tight, it's too tight. So now from here, I can really just be able to sense that if I'm someone that hits it too high, boy, this band stretches, and I can feel the tension level change. So if I want to hit it lower, I just try to sense that this tension level stays the same in this fashion here, and you can see that really is taking the loft off the club there.
Your left wrist is bowing down, you're de-lofting the golf club, and when you come through, you're going to finish, with this extension here. And, if you're going to play a real low shot, one of the things that I always teach is for players to break the momentum kind of with their elbows. Rather than breaking the momentum with your wrists, which is hard to do because the swing band's not letting them do that, but you break the momentum more with your elbows like that. So if he's going to play a really, really low shot, it would be something that kind of looks like this, okay? And then you see the extension with his hands, okay? That's a lower finish with the club head, if you will, and it's a lower shot with the ball flight. That's the move you need to work on if you're trying to learn how to play the low shot, punching out from underneath the trees, or hitting into a big wind. As far as your ball position is concerned, you're not really going to change it too much. Maybe just a tiny bit, move it back, but you don't want to move the ball too much in your stance when you're playing a low shot, because if you do, then you're going to have a tendency to also push the ball to the right because it puts it too far back in your arc. So if you're punching out from underneath the trees, trying to run the ball down the fairway, you can kind of assure yourself hitting a low shot by putting it back in your stance. But for most shots playing into a green, you can keep your normal ball position and just feel that release more like that. You're going to hit the lower shot. Now, the higher shot, just the opposite, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. Just take it, do the same thing. Just if I want to hit it high, really ingrains the feel. It's just a muscle memory feeling there that it's creating. That
So put it on your right wrist, huh?
Yeah, put it on the right wrist there the same way as the left wrist. Loop it over once if you need it. If you have bigger forearms or whatnot, you don't need, you can feel it just as is, that's fine. But then go ahead and loop it over if you need to a couple times, and again, you can really feel that tension level. Again, if it feels too tight, it's probably too tight. So on the way down, this one now, if I go to hit it low, boy, it really stretches out, and I can feel that. So I do my practice rehearsals, and I can just sense that tension is the club is coming a little bit closer to my forearm. If I want to hit it real high, that's something that this.
Yeah, you're kind of adding a little more loft at the hit.
Loft through there.
Yeah.
And that's pulling the club there where it needs to be.
Now, when you come through, you're going to feel, that club head pointing up more.
Yeah.
So a high shot points the club up more. A low shot obviously points the club down. The more you finish here, the higher you're going to hit your shot. So that's really the motions that you want to make and the rehearsals, if you will, that you want to make to hit the different shots when you're trying to shape the ball, whether you're drawing it or fading it. And just taking some slow practice swings, using the swing band like this is going to help you, I think, learn how to play these shots more effectively. And you're going to have a bigger repertoire of shots, if you will, and more game to go along with it. And as a result, I know you're going to enjoy the game more and hit better shots.